Everyone, welcome back to the TraderLion channel. This is Richard here with Ross Haber, and today we're continuing on with our Chart of the Week series, looking at EQT, one of the leading stocks in the oil and gas integrated group, which has been an overall leading group. You can see it's ranked 5 out of 197, and definitely worth keeping an eye on this stock if this group does have more room to run. It's definitely one of the strongest stocks in the market right now as we enter and continue with this correction. Overall, this is one of the top stocks on the top 10 report that Ross Haber puts out every single week. If you want more information on that, you can click the link down below in the description and popping up right now. And with that, Ross, I'll hand it over to you to just kind of talk through the chart. What do you like about the stock and what are you looking for next week?
Hey, Richard. So, like you said, this oil and gas and maybe a few others are kind of the last stock standing. This is one of the stronger ones in this area of the market. I mean, we can see, let's just start with how liquid it is. It trades on average 9.5 million shares at $40 a share, 30 and mid 30s, $40 a share. It's very easy to put money to work there without moving the stock around. So we break out of this nice long base. We've got this massive volume that just keeps pouring in and pushing it higher. We had a huge move here, close to 100%, just a couple of months while the market has been extremely volatile and super weak. Oil prices have held up for the most part and have been moving sideways, and so has EQT. This has been a little bit more volatile than the price of oil itself, but in general, this is a super tight and on a relative basis, very strong stock. You can see here, it's got the rating relative strength of 99. We've got relative strength new highs well ahead of the price right here. So that coupled with triple digit earnings across the board on a quarter over quarter basis catch our eye. And I'm going to let Richard cover this in much more detail, but I'm not. So anyway, Richard, before I'm going to let you pick apart those fundamentals for us. Technically, I think we're good. That's really it. This stock is one of the few that stands out where you've just got massive power and a nice tight consolidation, not too far off its highs as volume comes off and everything's still holding together. So as long as the price of oil holds in there, this is definitely one of the stocks to continue to keep an eye on if you need to be long, I would say. So yep. I'm going to let you dig into those fundamentals for us, Richard. So
yeah, adding on to the fundamentals, like Ross said, triple digit earnings growth. The sales growth isn't quite as strong, but we do see that earnings growth there. And definitely what catches our eye are those earnings estimates for both this year and the next. It's supposed to grow 238% this year and then a further 100% the next year. That's incredibly strong growth here. So that's always something that we're watching pretty carefully. Looking at the trend in fund ownership, we're seeing a gradual increase over the past 2 years, a little bit of a decrease over the past 2 quarters, but it has picked up the most recent quarter. And overall, like Ross said, just a super strong chart, especially considering the backdrop of the overall market. And we saw a nice respect for that 50 SMA. We had a bounce there, and now we've got kind of a consolidation pivot forming right at this level. And I'd love to see it kind of hold 40 for a few more days, maybe have a nice tight inside day. Yeah, just looking for a big volume push upwards. Maybe it needs a few more weeks. And of course, the overall market is going to be extremely relevant in terms of how this overall chart plays out. But definitely a stock worth having at least on your watch list to see how it acts, because it's definitely a leading stock within a leading group. So yeah, and Ross and I, if you could go over to a weekly chart, Ross, we were talking a little bit about, there are some potential resistance areas looking at this weekly chart. Actually going back to a monthly, Ross, we could go to a monthly real quick. Going back a few years, we've got potential resistance right at this level, which is running into, and if you draw kind of a trend line here, it's also running into this area. So maybe it needs 1 or 2 more months to consolidate here. Maybe then we get a push through on volume. That would be very constructive, but that is worth keeping an eye on. There is some potential resistance up ahead. So with that, Ross, I think that's all I have to add on both the fundamentals and technicals. And Ross, anything to add on your side before we end the video?
Nope. I appreciate you pointing out the resistance there on the weekly and monthly. That's super important and worth paying attention to. But other than that, I think we've got it pretty well covered.
Perfect. So we'll call it there. Let us know what you think about this chart and the overall group as well down below in the comment section. If you enjoy this video, go ahead and leave a like down below as well. And feel free to check out the top 10 report if you're interested in more ideas just like this stock. And with that said, thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like down below and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And we'll see you guys in future videos. Thanks.